Welcome to Big Brother Basics, where we break down the basics of Big Brother 16. My name is Jacob Harple, and joining me, as always, the Fruit Loop Dingus himself, Erine Nunley. How are you, Erine?
I'm good. I just didn't know what to do, whether to laugh, to cry, to slap Zach. I don't know what to do.
I think that's a feeling that a lot of our viewers have when they watch our shows. Do I laugh? Do I cry? You know, we try to incorporate all emotions in here at Big Brother Basics.
I just know I look good in my germ retired.
Solid. Also joining with us today, you know him as well as I do. He's holding hands with Jen City and Christine in the Big Brother Dictionary. Keith Garrow, what are you doing? You floating?
I am definitely floating on Aladdin's magic carpet, and I will not go back to the ground ever.
Will you throw Battle of the Blocks?
All I know is my picture is right next to Floater in the dictionary, and that's that.
Well, alright, so we've got a couple of things to talk about tonight. We've got the nomination and Battle of the Block episode. One thing I thought was interesting was there's a lot of stuff going on before the nominations. Like, I think after the nomination ceremony, there's like maybe one segment, and then it went straight to Battle of the Block.
You know what? I thought the episode was over before the Battle of the Block competition, and then I looked at my clock and I was like, oh, there's still time for Battle of the Block. This is awesome. Because it just really did feel like so heavy with things that happened before the nominations. It kind of reminded me of how Big Brother episodes usually are on Sundays.
Going after that.
But yeah, I thought it was pretty good, pretty juicy, pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think the first big event that happened in the show for me was the conversation that Amber has with Christine, and which leads to Christine informing the detonators about Amber's target. And I actually really enjoyed this. I thought it was really funny because it is such a what comes around goes around for Amber. Because first of all, she's in the same place where Joey tried to start the All Girls Alliance. She's talking to Christine about trying to get the girls to stick together, and what do you know? Christine goes right up and tells the guys. What did you think about this conversation? Do we think Christine did the right move? Do we really feel sorry for Amber? Too little, too late? What are you guys thinking?
We all know what I'm thinking. You played yourself. Week 1, Amber, and this is God's way through Sharkeisha telling you that it's coming back to bite you in the butt. You're probably going to get sent home early for it. Sorry about it, but really not sorry.
Yeah.
Next question, Julie.
I mean, it's so bizarre. Like, I know history repeats itself, but I didn't realize it only took 4 weeks for this to happen. And to me, I was kind of frustrated that Christine said something. That was my frustration. I mean, I understand that, you know, the whole Detonators Fivesome Alliance was cool and kosher or whatever, but at the end of the day, it didn't even help Christine. Like, she still found herself on the nomination chair to people that she told about this information to.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the same thing can be said about Amber. When she ran and told that earlier, week 1, it didn't help her. She was still at the bottom. She's still on the outskirts. She still doesn't have a Final 2 alliance partner because the one that wants to be a Final 2 with her, she don't give the time of day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I think it comes back to, you know, like when we talked about in week 1 with Amber, is that you're kind of limiting your options here in the game. Like newsflash, you don't have to just be in one alliance in the Big Brother house.
Right.
Like, I think an important part of this game is keeping options open, and by, I don't want to say ratting out, but I would say Christine kind of ratted Amber out, was she's slamming the door in Amber's face. She's closing the door on that opportunity, and I feel like Christine did that to Amber, and I think she also kind of did it to Nicole later in the episode. But I think we'll talk more into that. But I just thought the irony was just incredible. Like, I couldn't believe the irony. It was so perfect.
Can't find a better example.
Yeah, and, you know, speaking of symbolism, how do we... Zach turns right around, and here's coming through the back door Amber, and he's punching Amber in the face. Okay, maybe he didn't punch her in the face, but there was definitely a collision. There was a collision going on.
I just like that he continued to do the dance or whatever. Like, he was like, sorry, but like,
just didn't
5, 6, 7, 8.
Honestly, if I'm a player, I think after every like competition or ceremony, you just gotta go straight to like the kitchen and like just see, because you know these people are gonna be celebrating somewhere. Like, oh my god, like, or like when Caleb grabs Zach after he wins HOH and they're like celebrating. I was just kind of like, people, the lines are there, the alliances are there. You just gotta open your eyes. Come on,
I'm telling you, just give him the Big Brother 4 tapes. And you'll see. You don't do that. You don't celebrate with people outside. Do that in privacy.
Mm-hmm. Do we think that they're finally taking notes on Howie's gameplay? You know, the over celebration. How do we feel about celebrating? I guess positions of power. Do you think you just kind of have to keep it in, or is it okay to every now and then just kind of let it out?
It honestly depends on who it is. Like, some people can get away with it, some people can't. And the first person that came to my mind, surprisingly, a Canada reference, is Gary. Because, like, he won a competition and is, like, gloating, running around with, like, this, like, flag or something around the backyard saying that he was HOH, he's so excited. But that's his personality, so I think he was able to get away with it more. Whereas Zach, even though he's extroverted, like, it just comes across very distasteful.
When I think of people winning HOH and them concealing their feelings, I think of Allison Irwin. She won HOH the week after she got nominated, and she gets her HOH key from who was it? I think Dana. I'm just throwing out names. People don't know what I'm talking about. It's okay. And she's just sitting there, and she looks so heated. Like, she wants to, like, be happy, but she's just twirling around her HOH key because she's like, y'all done messed up now. Y'all done messed up. And it made me feel so good because I know she wanted to celebrate, but she actually didn't because, you're allowed to celebrate, but it's kind of like you're not allowed. It's kind of like whenever you get an HOH key, you say thank you for my key, even though they really weren't giving you your key. They were putting someone else on the block.
Yeah, I agree with that. Dan Giesling, I think it was last season that he talked about, it was when Helen won HOH, and when Helen won her first HOH last season, it was like this huge like explosion of energy, and Dan kind of presents the idea of like that moment that you get a position of power, like it's really easy to get caught up in just like the overall experience and just be super happy about winning. But I think that's a really good time where you just gotta like look at everyone's faces. Like when you win HOH, I think your first reaction should be take a look at everyone around you. Like who looks nervous, who looks happy, who looks comfortable, who doesn't look comfortable. I think there's a lot of information in that moment that you can receive as well as give off. So, I don't know, it's definitely a nitpick that, might not matter for some people, but I think it's kind of one of those little things that can really help your gameplay.
Wait, so Dan said that?
Yeah, I believe he said it.
Okay. That's actually an interesting point. And the first thing that I thought of was when Nicole won HOH, and I thought Christine was super suspect, like going up to her, like congratulating Nicole. Because I think Christine and Nicole, like Christine just confessed about being in the detonators to Nicole, or she was exposed or something, so she was like approaching Nicole very weirdly. And yeah, there is information you can get within that moment. Will it affect nominations at the grand scheme of things? Probably not, but it is something good for the HOH to keep in mind.
For sure, sure.
I would actually pay more attention to the ass kissers, because they might seem too comfortable.
Well, that you're going to get those no matter what. But I do like the prospect of looking at how people are right at that moment, because if you're nervous about, you're going to show it at least for a second. So I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
this is another thing I thought was kind of funny. We go into the HOH rooms, and we get like the of course the Frankie Grande grandfather thing, and I thought it was funny because like it's this really sentimental, really emotional segment on his father, and then like next shot is, oh my God, J Beebs, I'm so happy. I was like, only you, big brother, only you.
They can't really segue too well.
I actually thought it was hilarious that Frankie was the first one to go inside the HOH room and look at the picture, but then they go to Zach's family and Zach's brother, and like it's so obvious that we're gonna look for Frankie's grandpa, but we went to Zach's family first. I thought that was hilarious.
I know. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna come after. We're gonna talk about it later, but I just like how you want to see my HOH room. Some people just don't really want to see your HOH room. They just want to see things that mean that you're a human outside of the Big Brother house.
Uh-huh.
And for them to be going up there and Zach to be saying something that I probably would say in the house, which is, you're all going on the block. Your name starts with a letter in the alphabet. You're going on the block. You're going on the block no matter what. Just a little random side thing that I like.
And another random side thing was that Amber was the very last one to go up that staircase.
She was. I did notice that.
I was like, ooh. Amber definitely does not want to see the HOH room. She could care less. Because she knows she's going home.
That's what we're talking about here. You got to watch this thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, she's got great timing because, what better time to go, plead your case to the HOH than waking them up at 5 a.m. in the morning and,
That's the season's thing.
It's like maybe if it was Devin, you could have those late night chats, but I don't know. So we've got another alliance. Shocking. I feel like they could make a We're at the point in the season where they can make a competition about when alliance was made when. And have like a good amount of questions.
It was on like day 36 or 7, so
I like this is ridiculous, guys. Like I feel like this season alone, we are getting more like alliance names than like every season combined.
Yeah.
Like I feel like this season is like trying to start a record or something.
there will be in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yeah, it's
a floater.
It's ridiculous. But so we have the twosome of Derek and Cody, the hitman or whatever. So, what do you guys think about the hitman? Do we think? I don't know. I feel like this alliance
horrible name.
Only thing it's missing is Enzo, I think.
I mean, the hitman gave me another opportunity to go in on Cody because I don't like him. And I will read my tweet, BB Cody, #. This is exactly why you won't win the game. Final 2 with Derek? Really? Why stay in the house that long to lose? # BB16.
But exactly. If you're playing a game with somebody that you know is really good, and I think Derek comes off as a really good player to everybody. Like, I feel like they can just see that he's a good player. If you're gonna play a game with somebody like that, you can't make a final 2 with them. You won't win. Like, what are you thinking, Cody? Not like I'm trying to root for you to win because you already lost my affection, last week. But that's not a smart move. You should be wanting to stay with Zach. Y'all are over here dogging him. You should be wanting to stay with Zach because ain't nobody gonna want to vote for him in the end, especially not the dingus. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it working out for Cody only in the sense that he's attaching himself to one of the strongest players in the game. It's just that whether or not he's going to have that backbone to take him out towards the end. Like, we're top 12, jury is on its way, and it's nice to attach yourself to someone who's definitely running things. But the problem is I don't think that's intentional on Cody. Like, I don't think he's thinking about that. So, I don't know. We'll have to see, but I think Derek's basically just got Cody wrapped around his finger.
Yeah. Also, I saw something on my tweet, and it reminded me, like, it was a very, very small segment, but I think it was Donnie talking to Jocasta reacting to Christine nominated, or picking them both, like, Donnie and Christine, or Donnie and Jocasta. But I think, like, Donnie having watched Big Brother, like I can tell he has watched Big Brother, and like it seems like he has such a good understanding of where the lines are drawn in the house. And I remember just feeling very, very impressed with what he was saying and who's aligned with who and how he can trust people. I don't know, like he was basically saying everything that we as viewers know what's going on, and being inside the house, that's so difficult to come up to that conclusion, you know? So I was really impressed with that.
I just need him to win HOH. Like,
and the fact that he, like, after he won his little segment and he put up, like, Frankie and whoever, I'm like, yes, like, go after them. And, like, the fact that he put up Frankie despite, you know, the whole grandfather situation, I'm like, yeah, no holds barred. This is HOH competition. Everybody's free to, like, go up. Like, do it.
Charity.
This isn't a charity.
Oh, it's not? Oh, All right. So let's talk about, I think, probably one of the biggest points in this episode, the Zach and Christine conversation, where Zach basically, you know, is talking to Christine about potentially throwing the Battle of the Block. Now, this is one of those things where I've gotten a lot of, you know, arguments for both sides. Like, is Zach the person to blame here? Is Christine the person to blame here? Do both of them approach this a little poorly? Here's my thing. I have notes for both of these guys. I think Zach's plan to have someone throw Battle of the Blocks is unnecessary. I think it's just him trying to guarantee power for himself. I think that there is a way, like, as long as he's close with Frankie, which he's made it a point to express to us in the DRs numerous times, then there's really nothing to worry about. I think it's just him wanting the glory of being the sole HOH, so he wants to try and get people to throw it. I think that if you're going to put up pawns, the last person you should be looking at is the person that you're a part of a Final Five with. I think that's already going to cause distrust in that group and make someone like Christine very, very nervous. So overall, I think I would put blame on Zach for this because overall I felt the plan was just unnecessary. Like, you don't need someone to throw it. Like, you have both HOHs are in the alliance. They've seemed pretty on board with who they want out this week. So that's kind of what I have for Zach. And for Christine, like, good for her. Like, you got to stand up for yourself. But if you're going up on the block, you're going up on the block. So I feel like in that position, you have to minimize the fallout that you have with that person. So I think she could have approached it differently to where she said, oh, like, of course, like, no one wants to be on the block. I just don't feel like I would be, like, I don't understand why I have to be the pawn. I think she should have tried to voice her reasoning better. Of course, she is talking to Zach, and I feel like Zach is one of those players that, you know, once he gets an idea in his head, it's going to stay that way. So, I don't know. A lot of people were giving me hate on Christine, and maybe it's just because I really like her as a player that I'm more willing to defend her. But I thought I kind of put Zach in the wrong here. What do you guys think?
I mean, if anybody was in Christine's position, they should do the same thing. Especially if Zach was the one that created this 5-person Detonators Alliance, and then literally 1 week after, wants to say, hey, carry your weight in this alliance I created, and go as a pawn and throw this competition. Like, no, that's not going to work out. And I think Christine did exactly what she was supposed to do.
I see where Zach is coming from with the Christine pulling her weight, because, I mean, he's not just talking about detonators, he's talking about the bomb squad too. He's saying that you haven't done anything, which is true. She hasn't done anything for the bomb squad. She's just floating and using that as a cover, which is, you know, completely fine. But I understand where he's coming from when he says that she hasn't done anything, and that the person who's had to do something is Amber. She's been the pawn 2 times for them. So I see what he's talking about. Like, he's not just talking about detonators. I feel you, Zach. I'm on your level. But I do think that he was in the wrong. I do think that Christine said what she needed to say. Because it's like, you can put me up or you cannot put me up, but I'm not throwing the Battle of Block. I mean, and as Keith mentioned, Zach is the type of person that wants to stay at HOH. So if you really want to stay at HOH and you really want your nominees to stay on the block, you might not want to put me on the block because I will be coming off and you will be dethroned. That's the kind of argument I would see myself saying to him. Not in, as aggressive, but yeah, I don't think that she did anything wrong or said anything wrong. Like, I'm not going to throw it. And, I mean, also with that, if I'm sitting next to Amber, I'm like, if you really want Amber gone and you put me on the block, like, you're gonna mess that up for you because I'm gonna, take us both off the block. But yeah, it was really unnecessary. Just because he is the type of person that wants to be HOH, it kind of throws a wrench in the whole plans. Because, I mean, both him and Frankie want Amber gone. So it's like, who cares what happens? Let's just throw 4 pounds on the block. Somebody gets dethroned. Somebody wins the veto. And then we send Amber home. If not Amber, then Caleb. It should be a simple week. But
what I would have loved to see happen is if Christine agreed to the plan, let Zach think that she's going to throw the competition with Amber sitting next to her, and then have her and Amber guaranteed safety for the week when they beat Jocasta and Victoria and Battle the Block.
Oh my God, that would so hurt her game though.
I know. I mean, as a person watching the game, that would have been hilarious to see. It would have been 1 week satisfaction, but Christine wants to expose her game anyway to Donnie and everybody else, so might as well just burn all her bridges.
Well, I also thought that Zach's point of, Christine does nothing for the Alliance was also muted, because in the same episode, we see her inform them about Amber coming after Zach. So I feel like Christine, for that Alliance, her big thing has been, I'm information. Like, I'm gonna, I'm keeping you guys up to date what's going on. And so I think for Zach to say that was a little unnecessary.
Well, I think Christine was also trying to build cred because she literally has none. She didn't win any competition. She doesn't bring anything to the table but information.
Absolutely.
And the only thing, and like her, throwing Amber under the bus is quote unquote beneficial for Christine's game. I mean, she has Hayden and Nicole, and she also has the detonators, so that will only advantage Christine. So
that's fair.
Christine being information for them is Christine being information for herself. Like,
exactly.
She gets information from everybody, so it's not like I'm doing y'all a favor. I'm doing myself a favor.
That's a great point. I didn't think about it like that.
I'm not attacking you. I'm not attacking you.
Eating my words. After that we see what's next. Is it the Zach and Nicole? Which this is another thing that pissed me off about Zach. And like I'll say it numerous times. Like I love Zach. I think he's after Devin leaving. I think he's taken the role as most entertaining hot mess of the season. But I just hate his gameplay. I just like the conversation he had with Nicole was just so sketchy. I just want to tell you so. It's like when you get a present for someone and you don't want to tell them what it is, but you just want to like drive them crazy by letting them know, like, I just want to tell you. I just want to tell you what I've got for you. Like this is basically that conversation, and I love how uninterested Nicole looks the entire time.
Well, she's just confused as her gameplay. But I see what you mean. I feel like it's when people have a secret, just like he does, and they want to tell you, but they don't want to tell you because they don't want you to go and tell someone that you told them. That's what it really is. He wants to tell her, but he doesn't want to be the one to get caught telling her. Nicole would be a little bit better for me if her conversation skills, I guess, were better. I feel like she's a sim, and she doesn't have, like, when she's talking to people, she's kind of, like, off, like, looking to the side, like, she doesn't want to be in the room, because she doesn't want to talk, she doesn't want anyone to know that she was talking to you, or something. I don't know. So something about the way that she is in conversation with people is just really weird. I mean, I even thought when she was talking to Christine, I mean, it's a little bit better with Christine, but it's still awkward to me.
Earlier we were talking about Christine and, whether or not she was in the wrong. I think the only mistake that Christine made was yet again keeping Nicole out of the loop. I think the game that Christine is playing, I think it's a little... I don't like how much control she's giving to the detonators, and I feel like she's kind of... She has, like, Hayden and Nicole, but I feel like she's just kind of, like, she's not really nurturing those relationships strategically, and I feel like she's putting too much faith in people like Derek and Frankie and Cody. So I just wish that she would keep Nicole in the loop, because I feel that Nicole is smart enough there to where if Christine was like, listen, I'm part of this group, but the fact that I'm telling you shows that I have trust in you, so please don't leak this to anyone else. That's the game I think Christine should be playing. And the fact that she keeps keeping Nicole on the outs is only going to hurt her later in the game, where it's going to be pivotal that Christine has Nicole on her side.
What would be sweet revenge, though, is if, like, there's a time where Christine needs Nicole and Nicole doesn't help her, you know, and then Christine gets evicted or something. I think that would be pretty sweet revenge, considering that Christine was basically given all of these alliances on a silver platter, and she's kind of abused the people that actually like her, that she actually has good friendships with inside the house.
I agree with you, Jacob. I feel like going into this season, and when Nicole and Christine were starting up, I thought it was going to be, keep on bringing it up, but Danielle and Jason, where they were just going to tell everything to each other, and they were just going to control, or at least, you know, manipulate different sides of the house. And the fact that she's just not telling Nicole is just kind of like, ugh. I mean, I don't hate Christine. It just makes that duo not as real, you know, because it's one person just hiding stuff from the other, so it's not really a duo. She's putting Hayden on the same level as Nicole, and it shouldn't be like that. It should be Nicole and Christine with Hayden thrown in there.
I just want to talk about that you thought that their duo was similar to Danielle and Jason.
Well, I wanted it to be.
Oh, that you wanted it to be. Yeah,
they are.
My idea was more so like an Amber and Dustin. You know, they're not going to make it that far. they'll be in jury, but you know they'll.
But you'll be able to cast a vote.
So yeah, I don't. We'll have to see, but I'm really rooting for Christine in this game. Like, I feel like a lot of people they don't understand the game that she's playing. But I don't know, like, I loved her this episode, but I just, the one thing I think is hurting her in this game is the fact that she's keeping Nicole in the dark. And I really want her and Nicole to be able to do well in this game. And if, you know, the disconnect that they have on that level is only going to hurt them. I also, going back to the Zach and Nicole thing, I love when Zach basically tells Nicole that he's in a relationship with Cody. Do you guys catch that? It's like, just letting you know, Nicole, Zach and I are friends, but we're more than friends. I'm just like, whoa, is Frankie know about this? Just saying. Like, I don't know. Was that a red flag for any of you guys?
It's another thing where I wish that I got more DRs from certain people. Like, I wish I got a DR from Nicole about what she felt like that. Because him saying that he basically said that he and Cody were in an alliance together. But he also is saying that, Nicole, I know you and Christine are in an alliance together. And I just wish that she had a DR to explain how she felt, what she thought about the whole situation. It just irks me.
Well, for me, I think whatever Zach said in that moment was, like, real. You know, like, we're friends, too. Like, you and Christine are friends, and Cody and I are friends. Whether you call it friends or alliance, it is what it is, you know? So
yeah.
I kind of enjoyed that little segment because, like, you know, the whole beating around the bush and just being like, yeah, I mean, just like you wouldn't nominate Cody, I wouldn't nominate Christine.
Like, semantics your way around it however you want
exactly.
to.
It is what it is. An alliance is an alliance. Michelle is Michelle. Like, just keep on going. So I did like that he kind of called her out on her BS with trying to beat around the bush, you know?
I wanted a DR about it.
I agree. Is there anything we want to say about the pickle?
We can give them 2 seconds of our time.
I mean, I don't know. I'm glad that they showed it because I was really ever since I heard it happening on the live feeds, I was like, oh man, this is ridiculous. So it was fun to watch.
I mean, fun.
I mean that the date was, I don't know, which date did you guys think was awkward? The Amber and Caleb date or the Ian and Ashley date from Big Brother 14.
Y'all want some cake?
The problem that I have here is that Amber still continues to play the victim. Like, you said what you said. You know how he is. We all know it. Listen to the whole house. The pre-jury knows. CBS knows. Julie knows. The audience. We know how he's going to react. You can't say things like that to Caleb. You, of all people, can't say things like that to Caleb. You know he was going to do it. And then you were like, I didn't think you were going to do it. I knew he was going to do it. You knew he was going to do it. We all knew he was going to do it. What's wrong with you? And of course he's going to get mad at you when you're not looking at him when he's talking. And I love how they try to act like she was looking at Cody. Y'all need to stop.